Hi, Aaron here. So just wanted to give a quick heads up before we get started that this episode was actually recorded in early April of 2022, but due to like a mixture of me being busy with work and too lazy to edit, it's taken about 10 months to release, which is why there are a few older references. So yeah, we basically recorded it right after last year's Academy Awards, but before one of the stars of the movie Volcano passed away. So just heads up with that. Oh, there's also a bit of a spoiler for the movie Dr. Sleep, that Stephen King movie. So I guess watch out for that and fast forward if you're worried about spoilers for a 4-year-old movie. Anyway, I think that's it. So thanks for listening, and I hope you jabronis enjoyed the episode.
See you at the party, Richter!
Welcome to See You at the Party, Richter. My name is Aaron Frescus, and with me, as always, are my amazing co-host, Joseph Castro.
Hello, cutie pies.
And Chris Chapman.
How's it going?
And this episode, we are going to start stuff off with our pre-watch before we watch the movie. And we are going to be doing the 2019 action-adventure sci-fi movie, which I think is part of a franchise, but it's Terminator Dark Fate. That's not supposed to be a question. It's Terminator Dark Fate. But before we mention or talk about this, I actually had to make a little announcement to make, which I'm actually pretty stoked about. So, before we were, this isn't written down, so this is what happens when it's not written down. It's just stumbling through it. Anyway, okay. Before we were going to record, and that's all I was going to say. Like, just trying to get that out right there. Before we were going to record, I was like, okay, well, I need a little bit of time because I was cooking and I was making chili. And Erica.
Great story.
Well, no, it's not done yet. It's going to get better. Right. And Erica doesn't like when I make chili because she doesn't like my chili. Like, anytime I've made it, it's always different recipes because I'm trying to find one that she likes. So Rachel Ray chili, she's like, no, fuck Rachel Ray chili. And then another one was like Sam the Cooking Guy chili, and just a bunch of different times. And she's like, yeah, it's fine. But then I'm always the one that ends up eating most of it, like the leftovers and whatnot. She prefers canned chili over the chili that I'm making, which... It's not. The chili's good, but anyway, I
don't know. I'm out of this conversation. I don't really like chili. Period. So,
why?
I just don't like. I don't like the consistency. It's gross.
Like because it like tastes like there's like diarrhea in your mouth.
Yeah, kinda.
Oh, that's why I like it. It's like really good tasting diarrhea. Anyway,
it feels the same way going in as it does going out. Gross, man.
But I think I made one that she likes more than the canned chili, which I was like, all right.
Impressive.
Yeah. She's probably lying to me, but yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's with that. But so Terminator Dark Fate.
Wait, was that the point of the story?
Yeah, that's
that
it.
You were making chili?
I was making chili, and then I got one that she probably likes more than canned chili, which just makes me sound like a horrible cook. Like,
sweet.
I don't know. I was happy, and that's why I ran like right before we recorded or we started. I ran over. I'm like, wait, I gotta ask her something, and I came back, and that's what I was asking her. I'm serious. Anyway, nice. So Terminator Dark Fate. So Chris,
mouth diarrhea of movies.
Have you?
I assume. I haven't seen it.
Okay, so Chris, you haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's what I have not heard any good things about it, really. I heard a couple people kind of liked it, but for the most part I heard bad things.
I remember liking it from what I remember, but I was also drinking, so like and I was talking to Erica, it was the same way. She's like, I remember liking it, but I don't know. After Genesis, I liked Genesis before we started this podcast, so I don't know. But and then Joe, how do you feel about this movie?
Okay, so obviously I have Terminator 1 and 2. My two favorite movies. I was very disappointed when I watched Terminator 3, like everybody was, because it wasn't Terminator 1 or 2. But all the other Terminators that came out after that, the one I was most disappointed was this one. And mainly because shit on Genesis, all you want. It tried something different. This one just went back to people are running from a Terminator. That's just what it is. It's like just a fucking zombie movie, but like it's the same. Like Terminator 1 is basically, I mean, it's sci-fi, but it's basically a horror movie. Like,
Yeah, basically a slasher movie. Or
yeah. Terminator 2 just flipped it on its head, and it's just like, I don't even need to talk about how great fucking Terminator 2 is, because it's amazing. Same kind of concept, Terminator's after him, blah blah blah, but they got a little side project of blowing up Cyberdyne.
I thought you said boning up Cyberdyne. I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah, Miles Dyson.
Yeah.
Babe. This one is just like more slasher chase stuff, so I was like kind of really disappointed in it. Yeah, but I watched it once, and we'll see what happens again when I watch it again.
All right.
But hopefully I just don't leave that bad taste, much like Aaron's chili, in my mouth, according to Erica. And like I actually try to like enjoy it and like think about it critically, as opposed to like, fuck this movie. Because I don't know why I'd have like a problem with this movie. Like James Cameron was involved. It has absolutely nothing to do with like, the chick power thing. Like some people use that as a criticism.
Yeah.
I remember there was
that people were bitching.
Yeah, stupid piece of shit.
You know what I just realized? Sorry, again off topic. Wiener pinching is apparently my podcast default because I'm doing it, but I don't have to pee.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, you need to stop doing that because that's weird. It's like, sorry, I'm like sitting here like just pinching my wiener, closing, like open and close, open. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Sorry, like I got distracted, like listening to Joe for a second because I was like, what are you doing? Okay, anyway,
yeah, it's your fidget spinner.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope we
so.
leave
Anyway,
for those that aren't aware, when Aaron really has to go pee, he pinches his wiener, but he also doesn't like. When we're recording this podcast, he doesn't always tell us. And then so sometimes we got to interrupt, be like, hey, Aaron, is it wiener pinching time? He's like, yes, it is. And then he goes to the bathroom. But apparently now he's been Pavlov dogged. Yeah. Classically conditioned to pinch his wiener whenever we record this podcast. But that also prevents it. So whenever he does have to pee, he's already like hand on cock ready.
It's like twirling your hair, but it's like with your dick. Or like with your finger. Anyway, okay. I remember liking this movie, and I forgot about the whole girl power thing that people were bitching about. Which
how is this? The entire franchise has always been like I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like the first movie is like yes, it's got Kyle Reese there, but the whole point is that she's a badass by the end, or like not a badass, but like she's been irreparably changed by the events that happened to her. And then in the second one, she's a fucking like monster.
Yeah.
In the second movie. The third movie has the female Terminator. Yeah. And like, I don't know, after that, I stopped paying attention. But the origins of the movie and the two good ones have a lot of like female empowerment stuff. So people are fucking morons.
Which is, I'm trying to think, is like kind of like a James Cameron thing too, right? Because
he loves that shit.
Yeah, like, he loves that bullshit.
The Abyss, the main character in The Abyss is a lady.
Is it not Ed Harris?
No, he's not really the main character. She's the main character.
Okay, I've never seen that movie, so.
Oh, you haven't? It's decent.
It's a good recommendation there.
I like it. I haven't seen it recent enough to be like, no, it's great. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Like Titanic, you got
Titanic,
Avatar.
True Lies is Avatar. Yeah. True Lies. That's all like there's always like a guy there, but it's a lot of like just like strong woman sort of thing.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely aliens.
I mean, if you're going to listen to one podcast about female empowerment in film, it is three straight dudes
it's
talking
the Wiener
about
Pinchin' podcast.
Yes. Chili making Wiener Pinchin' podcast, baby.
There was. Did you guys watch the movies that made us?
No,
I've seen some of them. I haven't seen.
The Alien one's good because it pretty much sounds like everybody was afraid of James Cameron because he's a dick, except for Sigourney Weaver. Nice. And so she's pretty much doing that's like standing up to him the whole time, which is great. And I feel like that's how it is. I feel like I read something about with Avatar too, to where she's not afraid of him.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, so she's not afraid of like standing up to him and whatnot for when he's just being a dick. But yeah, anyway, so this movie was the bad guy the like the Asian T-1000, right? Or was that just like one part? Or again, am I getting confused with?
That's Genesis, right?
No,
Isn't
he's
Isn't he Hispanic in this one? I
I'm
think
pretty
this
sure
one
he's
he's Hispanic
Latino.
of some sort. Yeah.
Oh, see, I just
I'm pretty sure the Asian T-1000 was the new T-1000 that they did in Terminator Genesis.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So
Hispanic is racist, by the way. It's
Is it?
Latino. Yeah.
Gabriel
shit.
Luna. Gabriel Luna?
Why is Hispanic racist?
Well, it
So, like,
implies. God, you should know this. Jeez, why am I bringing this up to you?
You call me dumb because I'm a Mexican? You fucking racist?
Damn. Flip that shit on me real quick.
Goddamn right I did. Set you up, motherfucker.
Hispanic implies like Spanish, like basically like the Inquisition.
Okay.
So you're
Got
a
it.
result of that, but like people, if like people from like Yucatan, like the Mayans and shit who
Oh, okay.
never got the Spanish influence wouldn't be Hispanic.
Can I call Javier Bardem Hispanic?
I don't know. You gotta ask him. Why are you asking me?
I don't know, because he's from Spain. I don't know.
Okay, I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess he's just Spanish. Huh?
Spanish, yeah.
The trailer started playing automatically on IMDb, and I was like, oh, it's the Asian guy. But it wasn't the Asian guy. It was the Hispanic guy. I just don't know my races. So is that really
Yeah, it's
racist
like-
when you just can't distinguish between the two?
Between all non-white people? Yeah, a little racist.
Yeah, even though you're non-white. However, it would be not racist if you just couldn't tell, but you were like, oh, it's an Asian dude.
Oh, yeah, it's that Asian dude. But no, it was Gabriel Luna, who
Yeah.
is in stuff, right?
He's
I've heard the
in,
name before, but I don't know.
Agents of
Terminator
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Dark Fate. I believe.
Oh, that's what
Oh,
he's in.
yeah, he's a Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think he's the bad Terminator.
Yeah,
I
he's
think.
Yeah.
the scary Terminator.
But this movie was also written by David Goyer, who it's going to be good, which is not a good sign.
No, it is not.
I don't remember
What
why,
else
but I
did he
think we
write?
talked. What?
I said, why? What else did he write?
We talked about him in a
His-
different episode. I can't remember which one though. Or no, it was with
His-
the Justice League one, wasn't it?
Yeah. So his
Okay.
name is all over the Nolan Batmans, which is why people like him, and he's got his name on a couple other decent movies too. But like, if you actually go through his credits, he's got way more misses than hits.
And then it was directed by Tim Miller, who is the
The first Deadpool.
only the first one.
Yep. The second
Okay.
one was one of the dudes who directed John Wick.
Oh, okay. Did he direct anything else besides Deadpool? and
Tim
this?
Miller. No, he comes from video games. He used to do a lot of like video game cinematic directing, and I
Huh.
think some commercials. Like you remember that Arkham Origins trailer where it starts on Bruce Wayne as a child, and then it just kind of goes. It's just his face, and it just like goes through the years
Mm-mm.
until you eventually. Yeah, it was a really good trailer, but that he did that, and I think he got really famous for that.
He's good in like 30-second bursts.
I mean, I like Deadpool. The first Deadpool's
Yeah,
really
the first
good.
Deadpool's good.
And I haven't seen this movie, so I don't know.
Okay.
Although he obviously has not, nothing has happened for him since this movie, so I don't know.
Okay. I'm curious. I'm really curious if Chris is gonna hate this one, or like this one better than Genesis, just
Who
because.
knows?
And then if Joe can turn his opinion around. Did you guys? Oh, last thing, Joe. Did you watch this in the theater?
No, I didn't. I meant to, so I think this is the only one that I haven't seen in theaters besides the original Terminator, because I was like a year old. But yeah, I just never actually like got around to it.
I don't think I did. Erica says we did, but I don't think we did. But I'm like 99% sure we didn't. But yes, okay, neither did I. Anyway,
But you wouldn't remember if you did.
yeah. We also probably won't have a guest on this one because when we do Terminator episodes, they go way too long because we start arguing about stupid shit like mythology
What do
stuff.
you mean in extremely important shit? What are you talking about?
That's a good point. Yes.
How dare you?
Usually, at least I'm not writing it because I end up getting way off topic when I'm writing the term. Like that Genesis one kept going off topic because they kept like writing like stuff that I'm like, wait, what's going on? To where I had to split the episodes up. But anyway,
I'll try to keep it straight. We'll see.
no, whatever. I like doing that, so that's fine with me. And I'm sure Joe doesn't have a problem with it.
So I give a little peek behind the curtain here. I give minimal effort towards this podcast. I don't do any of the writing. I don't like edit. You know, I like update the website every 2 months. But for the Terminator ones, I will put in a lot of effort and have a lot to say. That's
sweet. Joe is writing and editing this episode. Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to go watch the movie, or we're going to go into pre-production stuff. Who knows? What be?
It's a mystery.
Whatever you hear next is what you hear next.
And you'll like it, God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm reliable, I'm a very good listener, and I'm extremely funny.
And we're back. We didn't really watch the movie, but we will. We promise. Anyway, now it's time for us to move on to the production and all the promotional stuff. So, Aaron, why don't you tell us about some of the promotional stuff?
Thanks. That wasn't awkward at all.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Bonerface. I appreciate that. Sorry, like I told Chris earlier, like the fact that I could change your guys' names just makes paying for Zoom worth it.
Oh, is that why his name on Zoom is Bonerface?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that is my preferred name. God damn it.
Yeah.
So the movie was directed by Tim Miller, who we already mentioned directed the first Deadpool movie, and that which was his directorial debut. So I think it's probably a pretty big deal as far as a second movie for him. Like you get reins of the Terminator franchise,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And it was written by pretty much an army of people, with story credit going to Josh Friedman, who wrote the screenplay for War of the Worlds. I'm assuming the original, not the Spielberg one, But he was also one of the creators of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, which I haven't seen yet. Which I think, Joe, you said you watched?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Why you gotta put me on the spot?
Oh, I'm just curious.
No, I haven't. All right. Like, it was good, but
Not that good.
not enough where I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta keep watching this.
I
know I'm a Terminator fan, but...
I think it was also released at a time when, like, all I was doing was, not that, all I was doing was drinking and smoking weed. Not that much has changed. I just don't smoke weed anymore. But, like, otherwise, it's when I was trying to, I don't know.
No, I know. And watching it when it was on is one thing, but I watched it within the past few years and
Just never
got
finished.
through. Yeah. Like, it was fine, but it wasn't, like
enough to
pulling my interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So also with the story credit is his name's Charles Egley, or Eagley, E-G-L-E, who's written a lot of stuff for TV, including a couple episodes of Dexter's Best Seasons, which I would say are 3 or 4. Definitely 4. And some of the episodes...
Is that when he has the laboratory?
Yes.
Or is
that's when he finishes the laboratory.
Oh, okay.
But then his sister won't stop bugging him.
Oh.
Yeah, Dee Dee, I think. Yeah,
it's Steve.
Yep.
Some episodes of The Shield, The Walking Dead, and then one of his credits actually popped out to me. He actually got to start writing the screenplay for Piranha 2, The Spawning, which is that a click with anybody? Like why it's worth noting? No,
I'm guessing Linda Hamilton was in that movie.
No, that's James Cameron's directorial debut.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Before I'm pretty sure he was fired. And I looked it up, and yes, he was fired on the 5th day of shooting for that movie.
Wow.
And the story is pretty great because I read a little bit of the trivia from IMDb, so I wanted to read it real quick because it was interesting. Although this is the first official directing credit for James Cameron, most of the work was actually performed by Ovidio G. Asonitis. Asonitis. His last name's Asonitis, like ass O-N-itis. Like he's got someone's got Asonitis.
I get that quite often, yeah.
Which that guy, so Asonitis was the film's producer and it says prolific filmmaker. I've never heard of him though. Anyway, Asonitis had made a deal with a small label at Warner Brothers for a budget of $500,000 to produce the movie, provided that an American was credited as director. Which, okay,
What?
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So after considering Miller Drake as a director, but finding him unsuitable, I don't know who that is, but he gave the job to James Cameron after being impressed with his special effects on Galaxy of Terror, because he was the special effects guy on that. But what he really wanted was a first-timer who he could easily sidestep in order to take over, basically. Something he had already done on a different movie.
And he picked the wrong guy for that.
Yes, for sure. So according to Dreaming Aloud, which was a biography of James Cameron biography, Cameron worked on the film's special effects, rewrote the script, created storyboards, did location scouting, and actually filmed for 4 days. However, Asonitis was calling the shots. Those asinine shots. So continuously questioning Cameron's decisions, and he did not allow him to watch his own footage, and then finally fired him on the 5th day. Reportedly, because Cameron's footage wouldn't cut together. So later, Cameron was able to convince Asinitis. Sorry, that'd be a long movie to do. We keep saying his name to show him a rough cut of his footage, and Asinitis had pretty much manipulated the situation to rewrite half the movie, and he added nudity that wasn't originally in the script. Which I'm starting to like Asinitis. Do you think it was ass or tits that he added?
I don't call him titsinitis.
So James Cameron broke into the editing room every night for weeks and cut his own version of the movie. And unfortunately, Asinitis found out and he recut it again. And then the most widely distributed version of the film is available is the Asinitis cut. Although Cameron was later allowed to create a director's cut that saw limited release. So the way shit started off with him was, yeah. But I think right after that, that was the one right before Terminator. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. But so pretty much everyone else is credited. I probably should have read that like completely, so I didn't keep laughing throughout the whole thing. But pretty much everyone else is credited with both a story and a screenplay credit, except for one guy, Billy Ray, whose name I just figured, like, it's impossible not to say, like, Billy Ray in like a southern accent. I don't know why. Anyway, Billy Ray has a screenplay credit on this, and he actually has a pretty good track list as far as movies. So he's done Gemini Man with Will Slap Happy Smith, and he did Captain Phillips with Tom I Like Pingin' Movies Hanks, which I was trying to think of, like, look at me, I need the right now, or something like that.
He does like being in movies, yeah.
Yeah, he does. By the way, this joke I tried on Erica, and it bombed completely, but what does she know? Anyway, so, okay, real quick, this is a quick sidetrack. You guys saw get like that slap, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, did you guys know the same thing happened to Chris Rock a few years back when he hosted the Grammys?
No.
Yeah, he started making fun of Jethro Tull, but got slapped by the flute player when he made a bad joke about the flute. Everyone thought it was a bit until the flute player got back to his seat and starts yelling, like, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth! Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
Damn it.
So
that is
stupid.
so dumb.
Podcast over.
It worked. Erica, the joke worked!
I wouldn't call that worked, but...
Come on, that was good.
It was good.
That took, like... the whole reason that it came close when we were going to record the other day is because it spent probably 45 minutes on that stupid joke. She just texted me an eye roll. But, yeah... The original was keep my five's frame at your mouth because Chris Rock was using the flute. And he's like, keep my... And he got mad that Chris Rock was using his flute. And he's like, keep my five's frame out your fucking mouth. I don't know which way was better to go about it. But anyway, moving on. So I can also imagine like the flute player like playing the flute as he's like does a little flute jig on the way back to his seat, you know, like frolicking like the Pied Piper. That's funny to me too. I don't even know what he looks like, and I was trying to. Is there a more famous like flute player or a band that has a flute player in it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because I couldn't think of anything. Anyway, so Billy Ray also wrote Volcano with. That's how I pronounce Volcano. Yeah. So Billy Ray also he wrote Volcano with Tom Lee Jones, which I like that movie.
Okay, so So Volcano and Dante's Peak came around the same time, and Dante's Peak had Linda Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
But Volcano didn't? Am I getting that right?
No, that's Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Heche.
Okay. Oh yeah, whatever happened to her?
That was the one that was in the Volcanoes in L.A. Yeah,
and
I like it's really stupid, but I like that movie.
Is that the one where the guy just slowly gets burned up by like? I haven't seen that movie in forever. I just feel like there's one scene.
So I think the guy you're thinking of is trying to save people, and they're on a subway train.
Yeah, it's in the subway.
And like like so he's like they're like moving people off the subway that passed out because of the gas or whatever, and they're moving them off, and the lava's slowly moving forward. Yeah, and so he's got to like it covers the subway, and there's like a big gap that he's got to like jump. And the people, like all the people, like just no, leave the guy. It's like no, and so he jumps in the lava himself, and then throws the guy towards them, and then he just melts. So it's a good movie. Plus, you got Tommy Lee Jones, who's just great and takes everything so seriously that I don't know. Anyway, so this guy also did that Richard Jewell movie, which is about the guy who was accused of the Olympic bombing in '96. That was supposed to be really good.
He wrote it.
Billy Ray.
Billy
He
Ray?
wrote that movie too. Yeah, he has a lot of credits where I was like, holy shit, this guy wrote a lot of movies. But so yeah, anyway, everyone else has both a story and screenplay credit. First off, Justin Rhodes, who doesn't really have much as far as credits, a movie called Grassroots and a movie called Contract Killers. Next, we have David S. Goyer, who was so accurately called a nostalgia profiteer by a critic that I like for a review that I read by a critic for this movie. I was like, that is the great description of him.
That is a pretty good one.
So, okay, so critics definitely don't like this dude. Because I'm sure like 99% like 99% sure that another review mentioned him as like when they were writing about it, they mentioned his name and then put ugh in parentheses.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's also not good writing, but whatever.
Yeah, it was just like it was like, damn, that is rough.
Pot calling the kettle black there.
Yeah.
But he has a ton of credits. He's got a Call of Duty game. He's got Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel, all three Nolan Batman movies, the Ghost Rider sequel, Blade Trinity, which is supposed to be the worst one, but I liked it. But thinking about it, it probably is the worst one out of those
It's definitely
three.
the worst one. Again, I enjoy it just fine, but it's definitely the worst one.
Yeah, just because it's the worst one doesn't mean you don't enjoy it. Like, I am the worst one out of the three of us, but I think some people enjoy me, right? Like, we've seen some... There's some... My mom's listening. She really likes Chris.
She likes Chris.
Yeah.
What about Laura?
She lives
I would... Yeah. She put... Okay, so just because you're the worst one doesn't mean people don't enjoy you. Maybe they like the other ones better.
I like how you just brought the bar down for yourself.
Yeah.
People can still like me.
I think my mom I mean, she's probably not her favorite son, but that doesn't mean she doesn't like me. All right, so there.
That's true. I got a point there.
Yeah, suck it, everybody.
Have the three of you seen Joe? Have you seen all the Blades?
Yeah, but it's been like 20 years, so.
Okay, because I'm trying to think of which one I like the best, and probably the second one, which I think is Guillermo.
Yeah, it's Guillermo del Toro.
He also wrote the first one too, David Goyer.
I was gonna say, I think I like the first one the best still.
Okay, yeah, he also wrote that one too. So if you don't like him, just switch over to the second one. But then he did Dark City, which is basically The Matrix a year before The Matrix came out, and that's a good movie.
That is a good movie.
So while writing the list of credits out, I realized that he basically just takes over other people's IP, the intellectual property, and then makes a worse version of it. So for most of them, like
yeah, so he's not a hacker. He's not like taking over their internet protocol address. That sort of IP.
Oh yeah, no, I had to make sure because I was like, I know there's a word like it's called IP, and then I was like, wait, I need to figure out what this stands for because I'm just gonna say IP, and then I'm sure Chris knows what it means, but then I'm gonna sit there and have to look it up.
Yeah.
But and I would say Dark Knight is probably the exception, but he only has a story credit on that one, which is funny because isn't the story pretty much adapted from one of the Batman like graphic novels?
Yeah, it's basically Long Halloween plus like a Joker story. Like it's almost entirely Long Halloween.
For the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because then the third one is the Bane whole
It's
Bane
Nightfall.
thing. But yeah. Okay, so then the last story. And I'm assuming both those were mostly the Nolans that made them.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Nolan also has a co-writing credit on those, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure the Nolans wrote most of it, and it's a Batman nerd, probably. Like fucking.
He just walked in. He's like, "Hey, you guys should adopt these two things." He's like, "All right, no problem, mate." And then they did it.
Okay, well,
and that's his contribution.
First of all,
He brought
Christopher
them the
Nolan.
comic
Yeah, he bought them from the store. Christopher Nolan.
He's the one they sent to the comic book store to pick up the comics.
The comics. Christopher Nolan has a British accent, but Jonathan Nolan doesn't.
Really?
Yeah. It's
That's
Jonathan Nolan has an American accent because they, obviously they're brothers. They might not be, I don't fucking know. But they moved at some point in their youth to like America. So Jonathan Nolan is
And Christopher was like, I'm going to keep being pretentious, I am.
Yeah.
He's like, do you think I should just... Yeah, that's not actually how he talks. He's got like a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
Like when someone like he's like walking along the street, like minding his own business, acting like, all British and stuff. And then like Carmel says to him, he's like, "Hey, I'm walking here, come on!" They're like, "Whoa, what happened?" He's like, "Oh, righto," and then he adjusts his tie that it's not wearing.
Oh no, I was quoting the movie. I was.
Yeah.
That's why
I just do a
talk
splendid
like that.
American accent.
What the? Did something just print? What the hell was that noise?
That was I touched the cord. Apparently Erica's cord is I need a good cord, apparently. Sorry. So, okay, let's move on. So, so then the last screenplay / story credit is for some no-name dude named Jim Cameron. I don't know. He's written Piranha 2, First Blood Part 2, and then the music video for the song Reach by Bill Paxton's band Martini Ranch. Yeah, and I think he may have written a few more things, but I didn't bother looking that shit up.
Martini Ranch, wow.
Yeah.
That's it. That's like a Jimmy Buffett tribute band.
Is it?
English? It sounds like it. Like, what about Margaritaville? Like, no, Martini Ranch. That's.
Yesterday, I went over to a friend's house. He lives in the hills above Lake San Marcos.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a lie.
There was what?
That you have a friend. That was the.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
That's a good burn. Anyway.
There was a concert going on like down at the lake, and you can kind of hear it from his house. And we looked up the band who was playing. The band playing was named Yachtly Crew.
Oh, that's a good name.
By the way, they don't play Motley Crue. They play all soft rock.
Oh yeah, yacht rock is a thing. That's like a genre.
That's true, but don't name your fucking band
I know.
Yachtly Crew if you're not going to do yacht rock versions of Motley Crue.
Exactly.
Songs. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And they were all like, what's the fucking word? They were all like naval themed names, not naval, but like.
Oh,
Uh,
the songs?
No. All the members of the band. They all had stage
Oh,
names that were like
gotcha.
nautical themed. That's what I was looking for.
Gotcha.
Nautical themed.
Yeah.
So the singer was Philly Ocean.
Wait, were
The
they
drummer-
players on different
They're all players on different
or
famous
musicians?
people or
Yeah.
musicians. Not all of them were musicians. So the drummer was Sailor Hawkins.
Wow, that's
Yeah, which
Sad.
there was a little RIP on the webpage for that.
or you could just change your name.
You could, but they didn't. The guitarist was named Baba Booey, but like Buoy, like a buoy.
Yeah.
Isn't that like
All right.
a racist thing?
I don't fucking know.
I feel like that's like a racist thing just because Howard Stern was well, I'm sure he is still a little bit of a dick, but like a dick towards that guy.
I don't know. Their keyboardist was named Polly Shores, and their
Come on. Yeah, I would tell
I
them-
know it's like it's
I
not
would
even
tell you got to try harder. No.
yeah.
Pick another one.
And then their saxophonist was named something else Shores. Like I don't even know if it was named after a famous person or if he just was like, yeah, my last name's Shores too.
See, this band should have like covered the song Dr. Feelgood, but be about like, their like general practitioner, like, oh, like my knee is swollen, or like I got some osteoporosis or something, and he's the one they call Dr. Feelgood, but he just gives them like prescription medicine. He just like helps them along,
It's an actual
He
dog.
just gives them the name of a good physical therapist.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not like a drug dealer or anything, like as in the regular song. He's just a regular ass doctor. It's like I got like tennis elbow. He's like, oh, here, like get this little armband here, and
cream.
like, oh, fucking Dr. Feelgood over here. Like that's what you should be doing for Yachtly Crue if you're doing a yacht rock cover band of Motley Crue.
Right?
That's how you do it. So, hit me up, Yachtly Crue. I'll fucking teach you a thing or two.
So, okay, I'm going to go
Anyway,
back real
that's
fast.
it.
So, one thing that I found was interesting was he actually did write First Blood Part 2.
Damn.
Which I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Because I was trying to find stuff that he wrote that I was like,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Another sidetrack. Worst naming conventions in movie history. You have Fast and Furious, and then you have Too Fast, Too Furious. Like it should be the Faster and the Furious, and then you go out with a third one after Too Fast, Too Furious. You should have Three Fast, Three Furious, but they didn't do that.
Nope.
And then you have First Blood Part 2. Why isn't it just called Second Blood?
Truly.
That's
I mean,
true.
I get it. Like they drew First Blood, but like First Blood Part 2 is stupid. Like
Yeah.
Second Blood, boom, it's right fucking there.
So, Cameron is also one of the executive producers of the movie, which made for some pretty interesting stories with him and Tim Miller. But we'll get into that stuff after, like, for the trivia, because there's some good stuff with that. It was like basically James Cameron being James Cameron. So according to IMDb, Terminator Dark Fate had a budget of $185 million, but then you got Wikipedia claiming that it went as high as $196. By the way, I think we did, but I drank too much. Did we figure out if marketing doesn't factor into the budget, right?
No, they never reveal the marketing budget, basically.
Okay. It was supposed to have its Hollywood premiere on October 28th, 2019, but it was canceled because of the fires at the time, which I think were those Malibu fires, probably. But, so it was released nationwide on November 1st, 2019, and opened number 1 at the box office with $29 million, but was apparently a disappointment and considered a bad opening because it was projected to do about $40 to $47 million. Yeah, so at least 11 to 14 million short. It then fell into 5th place the following week with the top 4 being new releases. So you had The Midway, which I think was a World War II movie. Dr. Sleep.
That's a good movie.
That is a good movie.
I was going to ask you guys about that in a second, but Playing with Fire, which was, I looked at, it's a John Cena movie, I think, about him being
the kids' firefighter movies, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is like, the order, by the way. So number 1 was Midway. Number 2 is Dr. Sleep. Number 3 was Playing with Fire. And then you had Last Christmas at number 4, which was an Emilia Clarke movie.
Oh, that's the one where,
Yeah.
I remember that.
By the way, how was Dr. Sleep? Joe said it was good?
Yes, so it is... Okay, so the book, Dr. Sleep, is the sequel to the book, The Shining, and the movie, Dr. Sleep, is the sequel to the movie, The Shining. But
great if you would have made it a sequel to a different one and for the movie.
Yeah, okay.
That's a sequel to Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah. Stephen King's been sober for 30 years, but he dips back into cocaine for Maximum Overdrive 2.
I thought it was going to be like him doing what actually is just him going to the store, buying some fruit, going get a coffee, following him around for a day. Anyway.
He sleeps a lot, 10 hours a day. That's why they call him Dr. Sleep. No, so the guy who directed Tim Flanagan is him and Frank Darabont, I think, do by far the best job of adapting Stephen King.
What did the Tim guy do besides that?
Wait, what?
What did Flanagan make besides Dr. Sleep?
Sorry,
it's Mike Flanagan, not Tim. Yeah.
Frank
Darabont
did.
Come on,
Shawshank and Green Mile.
Shut the fuck up. Fill it in while you look it up.
So he did Gerald's Game.
How was that?
What the fuck is Gerald's Game?
It was on Netflix.
Yeah, it was a Netflix movie. I honestly have no idea why anybody would decide to make a movie about this, because it's literally mild spoilers for the first 10-15% of the movie. It's a woman and her husband Gerald. They go to a cabin to do some weird kinky sex stuff, and he handcuffs her to the bedpost, and then he dies, and the rest of the fucking book is just her in her head the entire time. So somehow
we can do a spoiler thing. Do you care? Because I kind of want to hear the end of this, but I didn't, because I know what the movie's about. She thinks there's someone in the room. Right?
Yeah, that's kind of what happens in the book. I haven't actually seen the movie, to tell you the truth, but
did you read the book?
Yes.
So what happens? I'm okay with cutting it out.
I honestly don't
fuck. You don't remember if there's actually someone in the room or if it's actually in her head?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
But did she come?
Yeah, of course.
I just came. So anyway, go ahead. But what else did he do?
Dr. Sleep, I guess.
Okay, so that was good though.
Yes, yeah. That was Okay, so I think the best adaptation of, I guess, the best film/TV thing that captures the greatness of Stephen King, the universe, is Stranger Things, which is not a Stephen King thing, but those guys originally wanted to make it. They didn't get the rights, so they made Stranger Things. But Stranger Things is what fucking great Stephen King is, in film or TV form. So I think probably the best actual adaptation of Stephen King stuff is Shawshank Redemption. But Dr. Sleep has that same sort of feel that Stranger Things does, and it does a fucking great job of like the Stephen King mythos and everything, and adapting the book. They do a great job of adapting the book to that and kind of tying it all together, and it makes you feel like you're actually like in the story. Like so much of this shit is just like, oh, like horror stuff. Let's just make a fucking horror movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But Dr. Sleep just does a fucking excellent job of encapsulating that Stephen King feel. So, yeah, good job, Mike Flanagan.
Does that one take place at the hotel?
No, so it's basically Danny Torrance, the kid, but as an adult.
You McGregor.
Yeah. So the book of The Shining it's a metaphor for alcoholism and like addiction. Like all the demons and the haunting and shit, like in the book, is like the inner demons and all that. Like he's ruining and killing his family because of his alcoholism, blah, blah, blah. The movie takes a lot of liberties with that and just makes it like scary or whatever. But Danny is struggling with the same alcoholism and being a piece of shit, like as an adult. And it's him kind of getting over that, but also then having a like Shining in a link with a kid. And then there's these spiritual bad people who like to kill people who have this shining and suck the steam from them.
When you say that he was getting over it, are you talking about getting over it like he cured his alcoholism, or he getting over it like he came to peace with his alcoholism and is now just like a super alcoholic?
Yeah, he's just like fuck it. No.
Exactly. He's like, I'm totally okay with my drinking. I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
Yeah. You only call it a problem if you're dying. No, he as they say in the addiction world, like he hits rock bottom and then he gets sober, but then like the shining portion comes back, but he has to help somebody else.
So are they? I should probably just read. Okay, we
just watch the movie. Like it's a really good movie. You should just.
So
watch
most of this is probably going to get cut just because it's mostly me asking questions. And is it even a horror?
There are some disturbing, scary parts, but I would say this is one of the Stephen King movies that I have the easiest time watching because it's not really that scary.
Did you? I also didn't find The Shining scary at all, except for that one scene that I wasn't like, because I'd never seen it before with the gross lady, and that's only because like she turned gross after being like naked and hot.
Yeah,
and I was like, ah!
I would say it's not as creepy as The Shining.
Yeah, but I also got hammered when I watched The Shining because I thought it was going to be scary.
It's not a scary movie. It's more of a supernatural movie.
Okay.
Again, there are a couple parts that I found, a little disturbing, but aside from that, it's
yeah.
Okay.
But it's just it encapsulated the feel of the book, which is so rarely done with his work. Even like stuff that he works on, like the recent The Stand miniseries, like didn't have that. He was in It Chapter 2, and it didn't have that because there's like, oh, fucking scary stuff. It's like, no, there's the whole metaphysical fucking thing going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dr. Sleep is a great film. So I highly suggest it.
I heard one person describe it. It's almost like a superhero movie taking place in the Stephen King universe, which it kind of is.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
Does he bust out a lightsaber or something?
No.
Okay.
Jedi are not superheroes.
Terminator went on to gross an estimated 185 million domestically, and then had a worldwide gross of 261 million. So early estimates said that it needed to make at least 450 million worldwide just to break even. Yeah. So yikes. So the movie was actually the second biggest bomb of 2019. And I would say let's go. I was going to say, you want to guess, but I don't even remember what came out then. So it's a superhero movie.
Biggest bomb of 2019?
Yeah. It's a Marvel movie.
Oh, it's a Marvel movie.
But it's not like an actual Marvel movie. It's like a Sony or Fox sort of Marvel movie like that.
Oh, did
X-Men?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, it was X-Men.
No, it was Dark Phoenix.
Okay. I was gonna say New Mutants, but then I was like,
no, that didn't come out. Yeah,
New Mutants came out
they pushed
during
that.
the pandemic. Yeah,
but yeah, that movie, which makes sense because that movie sucked.
It was god awful.
I haven't seen it, but
I've
heard.
Yeah, but it's like the guy. What was it? The director is like a second shot at doing the same story, but then he did a bad job with it the second time too.
Well, no, it was Bryan Singer, right?
Bryan Singer, he wrote the first. He wrote He wrote X-Men, like
he wrote
Last
X3,
Stand.
but
then he directed.
Ratner. Yeah.
But then
Ratner directed X3, right?
Yeah, but then he directed Dark Phoenix.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if
he
wrote
still did a bad job, but he did a bad job with Apocalypse too. I was expecting it to be bad.
Which it kind of sucks that Terminator bombed though, because I'm pretty sure the franchise is kind of dead in the water as far as new movies now.
You think so?
But yeah,
I don't think they're gonna let. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna let it die until Arnold is no longer willing to make them.
True. But they also, I think they're doing a Netflix series or something like that was the last thing announced.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this movie struggled from the fact that all the other movies existed between T2 and this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
this would have been a good third movie.
Yeah. It's
fatigue. So anyhow, so let's move on, check out some promo material. And like I said before, there's a lot of it. So we're not going to cover everything because there is so much of it. So we're going to cover some stuff, and then I'm going to end up leaving the rest of the stuff for when we inevitably do another one of his movies that doesn't really have any promo stuff for it, which I think we have at least a few more of those.
Cool.
But so let's start off with here, let me do this. So anyway, let's start off with Mackenzie Davis, who plays Grace in the movie. This is her on Kimmel. But we're going to jump around a little bit. First, we're going to start with her talking about the Arnold movie she watched when she was younger. And then funny story she has about Arnold, and then we'll check on one more after that.
We were just talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is your co-star in this movie. Would you watch these Terminator movies as a kid? I mean, they would be old even when you were a kid, but was that something on your...
I wasn't exposed to them by my parents, but I was more of a sort of Junior fan.
I see.
More of a Twins gal.
Oh, Junior the movie. Oh, yeah. I see. Okay.
Yeah, he carries a child to term.
Yeah, Junior.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
My nipples are tender.
Right.
Yeah.
So you knew him from these comedies, not really the action movies that most people know him from.
That's true. Yeah.
And when you met Arnold, did he do anything weird? Because it seems like that's was he squatting or anything like that?
He wasn't squatting. No, he's really lovely. He was really, really warm and encouraging, and he quotes himself a lot, which I thought is just the most endearing quality, really giving people what they want.
Catchphrases?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, so again, I'm more familiar with Junior, so I missed a lot of the references, but he would be talking about something, and I was like, there is no chopper. Why is everybody talking about getting to the chopper? Which I still am not sure where that's from, but I understand from context clues that it is.
Yeah, really?
It is a quote.
He would yell that just randomly throughout the day.
Well, not throughout the day, but at the end of a scene to celebrate.
I see, just to get everybody fired up. Wow. Right. Yeah, that's fun. It is fun when some of these people who you would think might possibly be tired of saying this stuff. In fact, there are a lot of celebrities who become known for saying something and then they won't say it at all.
Yeah.
He'll never stop saying it.
I think it's so generous.
He's constant. He says it really at the end of every sentence.
Yeah.
By the way, at the beginning of this movie.
So then, by the way, it seriously trips me out how much he looks like Robin Wright.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, she does.
Shit.
But anyhow, this
Robin Wright's buff sister, throbbing right. She's throbbing after those workouts. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That wasn't that for
off the top of the dome. Yeah.
Because I was like, we're gonna be here for a second, but yeah, you got that right away. So anyway, this is a little later in the interview, and it's her telling Jimmy a funny story that happened while she was on the set of the movie. Was that 4:49? We'll start right there.
You brought something. You did a little bit of artwork as well. Now, before I show this, because I'm interested in it, explain what we're going to see here.
Well, on the very first day of filming, I was on set, and it was this big outdoor crowd scene that was supposed to look like Mexico City and Madrid. And I didn't really have anything to do. I was just sort of in the background that day. And I was looking through the crowd, and I saw this enormous man in this sort of tan, oversized suit. And then next to him, this very small, round man in this oversized tan suit. And I thought that for me or for everybody, the costume designers and the sort of background performer organizers had this twins Easter egg in the movie that, which if you're not familiar, is an Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito movie with a tall and a short.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
They all know. Yeah.
So
this was
I'm not sure.
No, because people are puzzled now at this. So there are these two people.
There were these two people. I, again, did not have a lot to do that day. And so I spent most of the day trying to get a picture of them, but they were also really elusive. Like, they knew their power and were leading me on a little Easter egg hunt. So I never got a picture of them, but I told your producer yesterday the story, and she emailed me this morning to ask if I had a picture, and I said, no, let me sketch one up quickly. And this was my second try.
So this is the second try, you say?
Yeah.
What did the first try look like?
Okay, so that's Arnold.
So just so you know,
pause
there is
real
a
quick,
child's drawing.
Yeah, it looks like a little
of a
kid.
tall man and a short man with
the same outfit.
with what appear to be the roofs of I don't know.
They got like little unrolled condoms on the top of their head.
Yes, that's exactly baby bottle nipples. Yeah.
If we posted stuff on social media, I'd post a picture of this, but we'll see what happens.
Well, that's
And then,
the guy.
and then that's Danny DeVito. But they were running, and so he doesn't have any shoes because they were in a
He
rush.
doesn't even have any feet, never mind shoes. Yeah. So you would make a wonderful police sketch artist. I think they'd never catch anybody.
It's about essence.
Yeah, you did capture something really special here. Well, thank you for bringing this.
You're so welcome.
Do you mind if I keep this from my home?
Yeah, you can have that.
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to have you.
So I figured out after watching this that a lot of these clips come from Kimmel, because I honestly didn't bother looking up any Fallon Tonight Show clips, because I think I made it pretty clear how I feel about the new Tonight Show.
Yes.
And I only do it if I can't find anything else, or if it's good enough.
Well, another quick side note. The only other thing I've seen Mackenzie Davis in is a recent holiday movie called Happiest Season with her and Kristen Stewart, and that movie is delightful. So,
Okay. Wait, Kristen Stewart is the Twilight girl, right?
correct.
Yes.
Her and mild spoilers. Her and Mackenzie Davis are dating, but somebody doesn't want to tell their family that they're dating because two chicks.
Okay, yeah. I remember when that movie came out.
Yeah, it's delightful. You should watch it.
Cool. All right. I don't watch those movies unless Erica says like, hey, let's watch this.
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, I watched it with. It's no like holiday classic like Jingle All the Way, but it's
I'm also
it's
picky
enjoyable.
with romantic comedies because a lot of them suck.
Yeah,
The ones that are good are really good, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, like my side note is just nowhere near where Joseph went, but I know I bitched a lot about late night shows when we watched some Letterman clips during the Red Heat, the last episode. And I was listening to Conan's podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. Check it out. You know, it's funny. I'm sure they can use plugs, so here's the plug for that.
Yes,
But,
they owe us.
See you with the Potty Richter boost. To
Yeah,
that
exactly.
podcast.
They owe us a plug now. So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
waiting
true.
on that, Conan.
But one of his guests mentioned something about the current iteration of The Tonight Show with Fallon, and Conan kind of made a little dig at him, just like a real quick, like, oh, look at me, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Sorry. Look at me, I'm Jimmy Fallon. We like to play games on my show. And it was like, but it also, like, for some reason, that comment and me watching newer clips from 2019, all these ones of late night appearances made me realize that it's completely different now than what it used to be. Like, there aren't really any hosts that do it the old school way, except for Jimmy Kimmel, I would say. I might be completely off base because I don't actually watch a ton of this. Like, I've never really seen too much of Colbert or Seth Meyers, but I'm pretty sure they're more politically driven with their stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's completely different than like a formula than the traditional late night show. And it seems like the exception, like I said, is Jimmy Kimmel that has the like the old formula, which is monologue, maybe a sketch, guest one, guest two, band comedian, which kind of seems like it died when Conan stopped the show. Because I'm pretty sure both Fallon and James Corden do a lot of games, and that with like the specific intent of going viral, which I get because that's how stuff works now.
Yeah.
And there's no point that I was trying to make. It's just weird to me, and I don't know how I didn't realize this before. like watching it this last time, all of a sudden I was like, "Holy shit!" And then once Coda made that comment, and I can tell it bugged him too. That stuff's like that. Which it would, especially because he seems very like the way he like adores Letterman, which sucks. But the way he adores Letterman and Johnny Carson, who also seemed like he sucked. But
yeah, but Letterman was Conan's Conan. Like that generation of people and comedians, they would tune into Letterman in the 80s as we would to Conan in the 90s.
Exactly, like how everyone that goes on Conan's podcast talks about Conan. I watched you when I was
because like I don't know, like there's definitely a dearth of like no one's tuning into the fucking Tonight Show now to watch Jimmy Fallon. Like no one gives a fuck. It's about production and writing and games and like as you said, like viral stuff. Yeah. And nobody fucking likes James Corden, like or Gordon or whatever the fuck his name is. Like people James fucking Corden, hate them.
I don't mind him anymore. Just from watching so many of these, it's I don't mind him. But
you don't tune in to watch that. You know, like I think Conan and I never watched a lot of Craig Ferguson, but people fucking love that guy.
Yeah, he was good.
I feel like those were the two like you know, back in the day, be like, oh, let's watch the Carson, as old people would say, like let's watch the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, let's watch the Carson, or let's watch Letterman, or let's watch Conan. Those weren't the names of the shows, you know. Those were just the guys they were on, and you wanted to watch those guys. And now it's like no one's like, let's watch the Fallon, or you know, like let's watch the like nobody gives a fuck about those particular people. But they're the bread to the sandwich. Yeah, you know, no one's like, I want a brioche sandwich. No one says brioche is bomb as fuck, but no one says like I want a brioche sandwich. They want a fucking turkey sandwich. Like Conan and Letterman and Ferguson were like the turkey or the roast beef and everything else is kind of the bread. Now those guys, and I mean they're white, so they're the fucking white bread, and like the other stuff that happens are like the meat now. So
well, yeah, like it's like tuning in to see the games. It's basically trying to watch a celebrity like make a fool of themselves, or like nostalgia shit, which is one thing that I fucking hate about Jimmy Fallon. It's just feeding off nostalgia stuff, getting like people to like do stuff, which again is stupid because I also was digging when they did the Saved by the Bell thing. I was like, that's cool. Like until Jimmy Fallon had to insert himself into the sketch, and I was like, I fucking hate you so much. But anyway. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, there's no point I was trying to make, but having said that, let's move away from Jimmy Kimmel for a minute and check out Linda Hamilton. So this is Arnold and Linda Hamilton being interviewed for Entertainment Tonight, with Linda Hamilton talking about coming back into the role after almost 30 years.
I've been hearing from everybody that you set the tone on set, Linda, that you were this leader and that they all looked up to you and your work ethic and what you brought to the character. How fun was it, and also how hard was it for you to come back and do this movie?
Well, I think people are being very kind to say that I set the tone. And it was probably...
You did.
They all just got so excited when you guys came in
here. The
here.
ladies are fantastic. And I don't think I had anything to add to their performances. They stood alone and they stood strong. They were so prepared. I watched Mackenzie work. You know, we went to gun camp together in Texas, and I was actually feeling a little, when we were in Texas, I was just like, oh, I am just never gonna be able to not compete with that, but to even match that. And you know, she just had so many skills, and she could do a magazine change with her weapon and a little flip, and you know, all in one motion. And I'm struggling with my tiny hands and then to unlearn what I had learned in the early 90s, because we don't handle weapons this way anymore. It's now this, and so the more comfortable.
Okay, that's the whole reason that I played this. I'll let it play. I'll let it play in a second. But like, okay, I'm gonna let it finish, and then I have a question about that, where she's talking about how they handle the guns.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I became with the weapons, the more my muscle memory would make me do the wrong thing, and it was frustrating. So I was alarmed, but certainly when I show up on set, I'm just all in, and they are too, by the way. So they're just being kind to me. But we did, I think, the fact that the three of us were so committed and really fierce women and very good actresses. If one of us had been a weak link, it all would have tumbled down, you know, but we really elevated each other every day. And they elevated me as much as I elevated them, that's for sure.
So she can put...
Okay. So anyway, first of all, the gun thing, which just weirded me out. Like, so she was mentioning carrying guns differently. Like she was mentioning what she did was she put her hand under. Okay, so she had her hand under the gun, like holding it.
Yeah. So like, you've never seen that in like cop movies?
Yeah, where they have. Yeah. Or you're not supposed to hold it like that anymore.
No.
I guess.
Yeah. I guess that's what she's saying.
I always understood you put your non-dominant hand under your dominant hand. I didn't know about this other.
You don't do that anymore, apparently.
I guess not.
Yeah, okay. I just thought maybe I knew once I typed the question, I was like, these fucking dorks aren't gonna know about guns. They're not men.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
God, we need to get some men on this podcast. This is sad. The Arnold Schwarzenegger podcast doesn't know how.
Fuck. You know what? Guns are fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
I agree. That's why I don't know about it.
I've held a gun like twice in my life. I peed my pants both times.
Yeah. I've shot plenty of guns, but this gun culture, like, guns are cool and, like, you're badass because you hold a gun. And, no, it's fucking dumb. Fuck guns and fuck you. I don't care who's listening. Fuck you. If you're, like, all into super guns and gun makes you cool and tough. It doesn't make you cool. It doesn't make you tough. You just have, like, a weapon of fucking destruction in your hand. And all this bullshit about, like, oh, like, if they had a good guy with a gun there, it would have stopped the bad guy. But how about if the bad guy didn't have a gun? Like, oh, knives can still kill people. But yeah, you know how hard it is to fucking knife, like, 3 people? I've tried. I'm a Raiders fan. It's very difficult to knife multiple people. But guns are fucking dumb. And just because you carry one doesn't make you tough. In fact, that is the opposite of making you tough. Because you need something of, like, mass power in order to fucking complement you and your body. Guns are stupid, and if you think guns are super cool, then are dumb. Then again, firing guns are pretty cool. So
yeah, I was gonna say I think guns are like cool. Like you feel cooler when you have one.
Yeah, it's
shooting someone. I'm sure is super cool.
Okay, so I have this idea of like wearing sunglasses and listening to rap music are like the same thing because it makes you feel way cooler than you actually are.
Yeah.
I think some people have this idea of like guns are the same thing. Like you have a gun, which makes you like much cooler than you actually are. But in reality, it just makes you kind of a fucking douchebag. Like to actually like carry and be really into guns. Like shooting a gun occasionally is fun, but for the most part, guns are fucking dumb. Guns are dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're a fucking loser if you're like super into guns. So, suck my balls. And if you want to come at me with a gun, come at me with a gun. And that will just go and prove my fucking point. That you're a fucking jabroni with your stupid guns. However, guns in movies are awesome. So, I really like that. That's why we made this podcast.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger podcast is anti-gun.
Yeah. I'm anti-gun. I'm very anti-violence. Like any real violence that I see, like any sort of fight or anything, just disgusts me. But any sort of fake violence or gore, I am all about that, and I don't know why. It's not just like me like having a moral obligation or like morally opposed to anything. It's just like when I watch like real violence, it just makes me feel gross, but when I watch fake violence, it makes me feel great.
Real violence is gross. Like
it is.
There's a huge fucking difference between what happens on the movie. Like movie violence looks cool because there's a whole team of people trying to make it look cool.
Yeah, and it's not real.
Yeah,
I'm also anti-violence, but it's mostly because I'm a pussy. Please don't hit me. If you actually know what we look like and see us, Joe's views are his own. If you disagree and want to hit me. If you wanna come and like agree like with I don't know, just don't hit me, please, because I will cry. Yeah, I figured that's a defense mechanism. I'm not gonna fight back. I mean, I try, but like if it's a big guy and he's like threatening me, do you think he would still do it if he like played like a basically like a dog that turns over and put on his belly and then it's like, no, don't, like, please, like that's basically what I do. Like let's say you like took your pants off and like, look at my wiener, dude, it's not even worth it. Look at my wiener, like, oh my god.
I was about to say to you,
start taking your clothes off and like, oh my god,
dude. I was just about to say that the ultimate diffusion if somebody's like ready to fight or beat the shit out of you is be like, let's go, bro, and rip off your shirt then your pants, then your underwear. I guarantee you no one is going to fight you after that. They're going to be like, what the fuck? I don't know what is going on. I'm like not even in the mood to fight anymore.
Because that guy's homophobia is probably way worse than his rage.
Very true.
Yeah. Anyway.
Speaking about all of this, okay, so we're like three straight dudes. We're not... And we're
also white, yes.
I'm not white. Hey, ain't no part of me white.
You got no white?
No.
No, you don't have any white either. You're like...
Yeah, he does.
Hawaiian.
Yeah, he does.
My dad's very honky.
Yeah.
Well, okay. My dad's the whitest parent out of all of ours.
True.
So, but he's also very brown. So...
Yeah, but Chris is actually white. Like,
oh.
But anyway, continue.
Okay. So we're three straight dudes making a podcast about Arnold movies. We are not like the bastion of
who's
feminist
also a super
rights.
white straight dude.
Yeah. We're not the bastion of feminism or anything. And also the idea of like, feminism is when women take manly qualities and like shoot guns and shit. And it's also whatever. I'm not going to say it's good or bad. I don't fucking know. Like I said, I'm just a fucking straight dude. However, when it comes to OG, like badass women, you have like Ripley and we have Lynn Hamilton in Terminator 2. Sure. Like she is like the OG. She's like the OG when it comes to that shit. So,
definitely one of the better written, like best written strong female characters.
Exactly. And I just want to be on the fly on the wall of like these other women that were in this movie, like being able to be the gun-toting, like kick-ass women. And like working with Linda Hamilton, and not just Linda Hamilton, but Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, and just see it. And she talks about this like she doesn't, these women are like all know more about guns and shit than her, but just that kind of dichotomy interests me. So,
which we will, I'm assuming, get into, because part of my problem with this is the way one of the characters are written, but it's only one of the characters that are the ones that are I think fine. But it's one of the anyway. Okay, so let's see. So so this next one is Arnold and Linda again, but this time on the Graham Norton Show, which is a British late night talk show, which is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
very entertaining.
I would put Graham Norton up there.
So yeah, he's a good. He's more traditional, the traditional style, which we were talking about, like basically playing the straight man to the guest, who you basically, when you're doing that, you try your damnedest to make look good / funny, and don't just sit there laughing into your hands like a fucking stone 14-year-old. Fallon, cough. But any shots I can take, apparently. Anyhow, Jesus. Graham Norton asked Linda Hamilton what it was like having a twin sister, and she tells I'm gonna say interesting story. So the link's on there already.
Yeah. Okay. And Fallon, if you're listening, first of all, thank you. Second of all, if you have any rebuttal or anybody that works on the show, come on our show and let's talk about this.
Also mention it on
tweet about it. Yeah, and tweet about it, and Instagram, and just get our name out there.
Yes, exactly.
Linda, you had that really specific thing growing up. You were a twin.
I was.
And now we've had male twins on the show talking about how they'd kind of mess around with girlfriends and da-da-da-da. And I'm delighted to know that female twins do the same thing to boys.
Yep. Yes, we played games and kept it interesting as much as possible. Had boyfriends that could only tell us apart by our jewelry, so we'd slip into the bathroom.
My mind wanders.
And we would slip into the bathroom, trade jewelry, come out and visit with our other boyfriend.
Because Arnie, did you meet Leslie? Did you get confused with Leslie?
Just once.
I did never know. As a matter of fact, her sister
Leslie
was on a set.
Our set.
Our set, okay. Yeah. And we did a scene together because there was a scene where she actually lifted out a cylinder out of my head, and which was kind of the energizer. And it was a scene that was supposed to be in a mirror. And so the sister played the other woman, and they looked absolutely identical. It was like so real that it was actually like it looked like a mirror image.
Yeah.
And they had to kind of coordinate how they make the moves and all that stuff, so it looks like a mirror image. It was like really amazing of having a sister that looks exactly like you.
Right.
Yeah.
But Arnold didn't know she was on board until, you know, we were in the trailer and he was just kind of up behind her, come close, and then he looked over and saw me. That's my sister.
You don't know that.
I was not so lucky because my twin brother, Danny DeVito.
That's not going to happen.
It's a little bit easier for her to identify us because only our mother can tell us apart.
Again with the lines.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of late night talk shows, I've always wondered about this because all late night talk shows have, when we're looking at them as a viewer, the host on the right and the guest on the left, but the Graham Norton show does it the other way. Is that because like they drive on the other side of the street in Britain? Or no, but seriously, that's like, I've always wondered why a talk show didn't try that. Like have
Switching.
the host with the
Wait,
desk.
doesn't Corden do that?
I don't. Well, he is British.
Oh, but he's
though.
British.
Yeah.
Does he? I don't know. I've never
yeah.
seen this show.
I actually do think Corden is on the left side and the guests are on the right.
Oh, well, he's also British, so.
I also
fuck
like
him.
how Graham Norton brings everybody out at the same time.
It's kind of nice. I think it makes everyone more comfortable, and like just the energy is way better in all the interviews.
So, anyways, yeah, that story was okay. Just the switching the boyfriends thing. I was like, interesting.
Interesting,
Yeah.
yeah.
So moving on, go back to Kimmel with Natalia Reyes, who plays Danny in the movie, telling Jimmy a story about Arnold at Comic-Con, but first coming out in probably the best-looking Arnold mask I've ever seen.
Please welcome Natalia Reyes.
Like, holy shit. Like,
Whoa.
that thing is... I'm pretty sure that's what they used for the movie,
Holy shit.
but
is
like,
a
it is
great Arnold mask.
realistic as fuck.
Like, it's freaking me out because her head is way too fucking big. Like,
Or her head is too small for... The mask is too big for her, like, body, basically.
yeah, for her body. Which, whoa.
Okay, so for the listeners at home, is a Halloween themed episode.
Yeah,
and
I completely forgot to mention how Jimmy Kimmel's dressed.
Jimmy Kimmel's
I really-
dressed as a
Damn.
pe-
A giant
orange
peanut? A
thumb?
circus peanut?
No,
Yeah.
it's a circus peanut, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So she came out in like a dress, but an Arnold mask that looks
Realistic as fuck.
Just
yes.
a ridiculously realistic Arnold man. Like the Arnold with half his face torn off in the Terminator showing.
Yes, but the Terminator Dark Fate Arnold.
Yeah, so the older one.
I think part of it is the fact that the eye that's like his human eye is it's very small. So
yeah, the hole it meets up right with her eye.
Yeah, so it's
like,
but then like if they actually like colored the other eye, it'd probably look like it would look really good.
Yeah.
So okay, so the last thing with her, real quick, is to skip forward a little bit and check her doing her Arnold impression, which just kind of made me laugh.
Are you going to like a Halloween party or participating? You're dressing up or anything after this?
Well, I have
Are you
Arnold's
gonna wear
mask.
that
I mean,
around?
I'm wearing this for
That
sure
thing is
tonight.
awesome.
Yeah,
I think people
absolutely.
will be scared.
Yeah, put that on for one more second. Would you mind?
I will.
Yeah, put that on. And do you do Arnold at all? Do you do an imitation of him?
I'm not great at it.
Okay, well,
It is absolutely fantastic to be here, Jimmy.
that's pretty good. That's not bad at all.
I like how she's got his like a part of it down, but she can't.
Yeah,
do
she's got like the cadence and stuff down,
Yeah.
but like she's not doing really an Austrian accent.
no
at all.
accent whatsoever. But yeah,
Yeah, honestly, like if I went to a Halloween party with my wife and then she rolled up and then also wearing that mask, I would slightly question for a second and be like, oh shit. Like I would leave my wife for this. You know? But like for like half a second, like, nah, fuck that. But
But only if she keeps the mask on all the time.
Exactly. She's really hot and wearing a Terminator mask. And
I mean, I'm sure if it was Arnold too, you'd still.
Well, that's a given.
Okay.
Like,
There's no question about that.
Yeah, we don't have to, like, you ain't got to bring it up. Like, I'm not even into dudes, but, like, whatever.
We're still still on Jimmy Kimmel this time when Arnold appeared on the show. And I like how you can always tell which host Arnold likes or gets along with / considers his friend, because he is on Kimmel's show quite a bit. Like, he was on there recently, as opposed to, like, the 90s and the 2000s or whatever, when he was pretty much, like, exclusively on Leno's Tonight Show. Because they're friends.
Yeah.
So, which is, again, is just like another dig at Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. But anyway, so this first part is him talking to Jimmy about the fires that I mentioned earlier and then what he did with his animals. So
I'm very impressed that you're here because you had to be evacuated from your home last night, correct?
Yeah, but that's nothing for an action hero. Come on.
That's true.
That's a piece of cake. I mean, I'm a positive person. I tell you that I'm happy that my house hasn't burned down.
I am sure you are.
Yeah, and I'm sure you too. You're evacuated.
No, I wasn't. My brother was, but I live in a different part of town.
Oh.
Yeah. So, are you disappointed?
Yeah, I was disappointed. I'm disappointed now.
I was not evacuated. I just drove in regular.
Yeah.
So, you have a lot of animals, right?
Yeah, I have a pony, a miniature pony. I have 2 dogs. Yeah, there's a lot of activity up there.
What do you do with the pony? You throw that in the trunk, or how does that go? You ride the pony out?
We send it to a sleeping camp.
I see.
Overnight sleeping camp.
A sleepaway camp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, sleeping camp doesn't sound so good, but yeah.
No?
Well, it's, you put a dog to sleep, you don't really...
No.
Yeah, no. I just want to make it clear, you did not euthanize your pony.
I've only been in America for 51 years. I mean, you're great.
Yes, how is it possible that your accent has not subsided even to the slightest degree? You maintain this accent. How can that be?
I think it has something to do that I'm hanging out with Sly every so often.
Sly Stallone?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I do want to ask you something about Sly, but I want to ask you a couple more things about these fires because you were governor.
Okay. I'm gonna actually we're gonna skip forward and check out his Stallone story because it's pretty good. And do either of you guys know what he might be talking about coming up?
No.
Okay,
Nope.
cool. That makes it way better.
You mentioned Sylvester Stallone, and I want to ask you a story I heard about Sylvester Stallone. Is it true that you tricked Sylvester Stallone, who is he a friend and a rival, or just a rival?
No. In the 80s, he was just a rival.
Just a rival.
It was just competition. It was all about who is making bigger movies, who has more definition in their muscles, who has more box office success, who kills more people, who kills people more creatively, who has bigger knives, who has bigger guns. And at the end, I started running around with machine guns that were only used for helicopters, mounting on helicopters or tanks. It was crazy. It was all-out war. It was all-out war.
So the story goes that you somehow tricked him into making a very bad movie.
Yes.
And is that true?
Yes, but it's part of the...
How in the world? How did you manage to do that? How did you pull that off?
Well, because they came to me because Hollywood knew that I was wanting to get out of just doing action movies and do comedies. That's why I did then Twins and Kindergarten Cop and movies like that. Thank you. But so they came to me with this other movie, and I forgot what it was called.
Stop or My Mother Will Shoot.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, exactly. That's right. And so I read the script, and it was a piece of I mean, and so I said to myself, I'm not going to do this movie. So then they went to Sly, and then Sly called me, and he says, hey, have they ever talked to you about this movie? And I said, yeah. I said, I was thinking about doing it. This is a really brilliant idea, this movie. And so when he heard that, because he was in competition, he immediately called him and says, look, whatever it takes, I do the movie. So he did the movie.
Wow.
And of course, the movie went major into the toilet.
How happy you look about that, too.
I'm so happy about it.
Okay. First of all, like the crowd fucking loves him. Even this was what 3 years ago, and his like when he comes out, when he comes out, they go nuts. Like it's which is great, and
he's one of those people that you actually have to wait for the audience to settle down before they can start talking, which is not everybody anymore.
Yeah. Especially when you see his co-stars, which again they're not as nowhere near as famous, but still, like it's just I think it's just the whole charisma thing. He's just a better interview too than where I don't know, he knows that anyway. It's just me gushing now apparently, but so he also tells a great OJ story about the original Terminator that I'm sure that we're definitely going to check out when we do that movie, because I got to save some for that. But it's a story that I'm sure we both know how OJ was originally chosen for the role or considered for the role, but just the way he tells it is great. So it's good. But anyhow, so the next one has nothing to do with the movie, and it's actually the thing that I texted you both about to see if you'd heard about. And it's an incident that happened in 2019 in South Africa at one of his competitions, like his like athletic competitions for kids. It's like kind of like a mini Olympics sort of thing, a bunch of different competitions. But anyway,
I do know this story, but yeah.
Okay, so Joe, you know what kind of happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so I found a news story covering it that's a couple minutes long, but we'll check it out because they explain it quicker and way better than I'm going to be able to. So
stunning video out of South Africa tonight that shows a man drop kicking former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But like his iconic character, the Terminator, Schwarzenegger proves once again that at 71, he really is superhuman.
CBS 2's Tom Wade is here to show us this bizarre incident. Tom.
Yes, 3 in 1. When you see this video, it's pretty shocking what happened to him. And of course, his recovery is really impressive as well. It's jarring and dramatic. And if you wondered if the former governor is showing his age, think again. He's still got it.
Judges ready. Jumpers ready.
Cell phone video shows Arnold Schwarzenegger taking photos and talking to fans when out of nowhere there's this shocking moment. Someone drop kicks the former governor and Terminator star. This happened in Johannesburg, South Africa at the annual Arnold Classic Africa. The ambush gave Schwarzenegger absolutely no time to defend himself. Here's another angle of the bizarre attack. At 71 and in incredible shape, he didn't even fall over.
Pause it real quick. The angle, the first angle that you see it from, he looks like he falls, like gets pushed and falls the fucking down.
Yeah. But he really looks like he's gonna fly into the
whoever's talking
towards
to.
the camera.
Yeah, but then you see it from the other angle, and the guy barely budges him. Like
he barely moves.
Like the guy runs into him and gives him like a full like Street Fighter kick, and he barely moves forward. Which I was like, at first I felt bad because I was like, oh, poor Arnold. But then I saw the other one. I'm like, oh, fuck that guy. Like he barely moved.
Fucking moron.
After the governor had a second to collect his thoughts, he tweeted, "Thanks for your concerns, but there is nothing to worry about. I thought I was just jostled by the crowd, which happens a lot. I only realized I was kicked when I saw the video like all of you. I'm just glad the idiot didn't interrupt my Snapchat."
That's my favorite part.
Event organizers said the guy who created the spectacle was arrested and that he is known to police for orchestrating similar incidents in the past. They also said Mr. Schwarzenegger is fine and still in good spirits. He still carried on with the activities as planned and is fully taking this in stride. And Schwarzenegger also tweeted that he hopes people pay more attention to the event and the incredible athletes and less attention to the person who kicked him.
He also mentioned something like because he kept like live streaming on Snapchat through the events. And he was doing one of a girl's karate, and he's like, "Thank God that these girls didn't kick me, because it probably hurt more than the guy that did." Like, it was funny, but so basically, the guy kicks him, and the guy begins yelling. You can't hear it in that one, but you can hear it in the original. You can hear him in the background after security gets him, just yelling like, "Help me! I need a Lamborghini!" repeatedly over and over again. Jesus. "Help me! I need a Lamborghini!" And I'm like, really. Like when I was watching it, I'm like hoping security pulled like a Simpsons situation after Homer sneaks on stage at the U2 concert, and like, don't worry, he'll get the help he needs.
Just pounding him in the back.
The man's talking about Lamborghinis
in the name of love.
That affects the whole damn planet. Yeah, exactly. They're just punching him. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
real quick on the last thing, you totally cut this out, but one of the reporters on the show was Tom Waite.
I noted that.
Okay, so you've seen like Alien and Aliens, and like Aliens is a sequel. Do you think Tom Waits was the original and Tom Waits the singer-songwriter?
Yeah, it was when James Cameron came over.
He's like, "Ooh, like this Tom Waits is pretty good, but I think I can do better. Let's make Tom Waits."
I get what you're going for here with Tom Waits, but Tom Waits could be so much more.
Yeah. And then there's Tom Waits 3, like Resurrection, and I was like, no. That's no. Like, we don't.
Okay, so
all right, well, all right. Since we're transitioning, I'm going to use the bathroom.
Okay, go ahead. Also, this movie's way better than Genesis.
Yes, by a lot.
And some of the stuff I'm
gonna leave this part in and just not let Joe argue.
But yes, this movie is way better than Genesis. And hearing James Cameron talk about, we're gonna go through this in the trivia too. But hearing James Cameron talk about it, he did not like Genesis. Like,
really?
Because he's making fun of it, but he's doing it in a subtle enough way to where you're like, okay, well, yeah, he's trying. But yeah, you can definitely tell he's like, that sucks. Yeah. But one thing I was going to mention before we watch this that I forgot to mention when we were watching Linda Hamilton is you can definitely tell that she does not like James Cameron.
Oh, really?
Just the way some of the comments that she makes, and yeah, she doesn't seem. Maybe it's.
Well, I mean, they were married.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And
I don't like any of my ex-wives. I also don't dislike them because I don't have any ex-wives. But
yeah, makes sense to me. So that's it for the promo material, and that wasn't all of it either. I left some stuff out, so, which we'll get to the rest. We'll get to the rest in due time. But yeah, anything else to mention before we get signing off?
Not really. I would just say like all this fucking like promo stuff that you found just kind of proves how much they must have spent on the marketing for this fucking movie.
That's a great point.
Because like I remember when this movie was coming out, that trailer was inescapable. Like, that trailer was fucking everywhere. It was on every single movie I went to see that year. It was on TV constantly. I got so tired of that trailer.
Yeah, and it's weird because, I mean, I'm me. No way to escape it. Big Terminator fan.
Wait, expand on that.
Well, so, okay, if you want to get metaphysical about it, like, we're all the same. We're all just atoms floating about, and somehow I'm in my carbon form. I have thoughts, but every 7 years, everything inside me regenerates. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense, like, what I'm saying, but it, like, in the metaphysical way, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how am I the same person? It's the ship of...
Theseus.
Thank you. Where if you replace every part, it's still the same ship, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. If every 7 years, all my atoms and cells are not the same as they were before, am I still the same person? Mm. So, regardless of all that, I am still myself, I guess. And I'm obviously a big Terminator fan. I went and created this podcast with my friends, or some dudes I know. It's called See You at the Potty Richta. It's pretty good. It's like a comedy movie critique podcast. But Terminator 1 and 2 are my favorite movies, and that trailer was everywhere, and even then, I still didn't, like, I wanted to watch it in theaters, but I didn't make the effort to do it.
Neither did I. Ended up, even though Erica says otherwise, but yes.
Yeah, I ended up watching it, like, later. I think I bought it on YouTube when it was, like, on sale for $10, but, and I was...
I'm watching it for the first time for this podcast, like...
Yeah. Aside from Terminator 1, when I was less than a year old, this is the first Terminator I didn't watch in theaters, and yeah, I don't know. I think it just kind of lost some of its luster. So when old school fans like me are not really caring to go watch it in theaters, how are like others gonna give a shit?
Yeah, that's true. How are you gonna grab a new audience?
Wait, nudie?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yep. How are you going to grab the nude
I was looking down at my phone for a second and you said nudie. I was like, whoa.
That is a type of pasta, actually.
Nudie pasta?
Nudi, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, no, I'm serious. That wasn't true.
No, I know. I like to think that you just don't know how to pronounce noodle.
Wait, no.
Yeah, it's a type of pasta, bro. Noodle. Nudie.
I just thought it was like a pasta that just shakes. It's like the noodles just shaking, like do. You gotta know why I'm doing the New York song, but that's the wrong song.
I believe that is the Springfield song.
Oh, sorry, the Springfield song. But yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, if you can't get me
hard,
yes.
Well, a Terminator movie,
or just in general, you have a lot of work to do. Because I mean, I may be in my late 30s, but that dong is of a 16-year-old in more ways than one, unfortunately.
All of them strictly legal. All of them strictly legal.
Exactly. But the proponent to boners and the quick release.
Get the party, Richter!